Bleeding Cool's coverage of DragonCon is brought to you by fancons.com. If you're a fan of anime, comics, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, steampunk, toys, TV, or video games, you can use fancons.com to find conventions near you for any fandom you're into. And City of Gods, novels, comics, and games by M. Scott Byrne and Win Mercer. Come for a visit, stay for the adventure at cityofgods.com.
Get out. In a world where people walk in your room when you're being interviewed.
Okay, I think that's a good time to start as any. It's okay for the background noise.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Bill Meeks. I'm here at DragonCon 2012, and I'm here with Billy West. You might know him as the voice of Ren, Stimpy, Fry, Zoidberg from Futurama. I believe you're an M&M or two.
Wait, I'm going to yell at somebody. Hey, Twinkle Toes, could you shut that door? Don't worry about it. Thank you. Yeah, I do that stuff. I'm your one-stop for that sort of thing.
Excellent, excellent. Now, you could get around to conventions quite a bit, and I know you've been to DragonCon before. What separates it from other conventions?
DragonCon? Well, number one, the people are so very, very nice. I love talking to people because I would have no idea what was going on in the world if I didn't go out and talk to people. Honest to God, I can't learn anything from watching TV and reality shows and all that. So I get to hear what people think and what they think about the show that I'm doing, and I think it's all really cool. I mean, what are the odds that something like that could happen to you where there's all these people not only know who you are, but what you do, and they follow your work? I mean, you couldn't be any luckier. You should come from a place of great gratitude.
Okay, I'm going to throw you a hypothetical. Okay. Let's say Bill Gates. He is a secret cartoon / Billy West fan, and instead of taking his money to, fix problems in Africa and everything, he decides to buy up every cartoon character ever created.
Yes.
And then he comes to you and he's like, okay, I'm going to renew a show that you used to work on, and I'm going to let you pick any character you've never worked on before. What would those characters be?
What do you mean, make up new ones?
Or not make up new ones, just like a character that you've never performed that you would like to.
Well, that's almost every day of my life. I mean, you show up somewhere and there's all these people who have money, and they're creating characters, and they stick them in front of you and say, what would he sound like? And you just have to take your chances and commit to it. You can't be afraid of anything. And hopefully they'll call you back. That happens every day. Any voice person, you go out and you just do the auditions and you compete against other people. But I don't look at it as competition. I just think it's part of the process,
Okay, now Bleeding Cool.
Bill Gates will never want me for anything, I guarantee you.
I don't know. I'm Bill. You're Billy. He's Bill. I think there's a brotherhood of Bills out there.
Yeah, that's magical thinking. It will do you no good in the real world.
Now, Bleeding Cool is, they cover comics, TV, and film. More so on the comic side. Have you ever been a comics fan at all?
Of course.
Any characters or books that you were ever a big fan of or anything?
Well, I guess I have to preface all this with the fact that I resent the fact that it's cool to be a nerd now. It wasn't 50 years ago. They'd rip your head off and your arms and watch you bleed to death. Oh, you like comic books, huh? Nerd. They used other words that weren't that. But I found out there was a kid on the other side of town who had comic books. And that blew my mind. I had to go in his direction. I had no idea where he lived. I just went in that direction. I said, I'm going to find him. I'm going to find that guy. So growing up, I had about 1.5 friends and a dog, because nobody, you couldn't share your interests with anybody. And, I had all the original issues of Secret Origins of The Flash and I had all the comic books that most people would commit suicide over if you, rip the page on it or something.
Yeah.
And so I lived in that world. And I realized that if I had gone to college or I was very scholastic, which I wasn't in school, I would have wound up in a future that totally short-shrifted me, because I'd be prepared for nothing in life that could actually make me money. you know, something. Who knew that this was going to happen in the United States? That everything everybody told you to do would mean absolutely nothing in the future.
Yeah.
You know, and then some nut like me that has this peripheral interest in everything and just can do characters and voices. I mean, I was always told that's not important. You're living in a goddamn dream world. You know, and that's I had to grow up listening to this, and I just never listened. You know.
Yeah. I was actually the same situation. You know, I do a lot with computers and animation
Sure.
and stuff like that. And my dad was like a mechanic. And he was like, "Why don't you go learn a real trade?" You know. But going back to your childhood a little bit, who are the voice actors you looked up to while you were growing up?
Well, there was, you know, of course, Mel Blanc. He just, you know, wrote the book. He was the light, you know, that everybody else kind of followed afterwards. June Foray was a great inspiration. Gosh, Dawes Butler, Don Messick. You'll have to Google all these names because I can't begin to explain to you. But they were thrilling people to me because even as a kid, I knew that there was adults, some kind of whacked out adult behind everything responsible for this craziness. And I guess deep down, without ever really understanding it or being able to explain it, I wanted to be one of them, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
And so I wound up to be that, and I have worked with some of my heroes.
And you also, Mel Blanc, you stepped into his shoes a little bit with some of the Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah, that was good, but I was, the best thing that ever happened to me was The Mysterious Island, where The Rock, that actor, The Rock, or whatever you want to call him, was in it, and they had a 3-minute or 5-minute Warner Brothers cartoon before that they made out of nothing. They made it out of a recording, a musical record from 1952 called Daffy's Rhapsody. And it was Daffy singing about being shot by hunters, and you know, he's pleading, why me, and all this stuff, and it's to a classical piece of music. So what they did is they took that and they built a brand new cartoon around that piece of music with Daffy on stage in the opera singing it, and there's all the staging. And they put me in it, who was never had anything to do with the record, like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
And I was shooting at him the whole time. You know, and it was the greatest thing because in the credits, when I saw the credits, it says Mel Blanc, and then it said my name. So I get to work with the guy, like probably the year I was born, he did that record. You know, and here I am, like in the credits with him. That's like, it doesn't get better than that. It's,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Right. Did you ever, and we'll wrap up after this question, I think there's something falling over there. That's all right, though. No, Mel Blanc had an old radio show. Did you ever listen to his old radio show where the character was basically Bugs Bunny, but he was kind of he was a human, but it was the Bugs Bunny voice and the
But it
Bugs
was like
Bunny
Mel
attitude.
Blanc's Fix-It Shop or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And he had somebody that worked there named Zookie, who sounded exactly like Porky Pig.
Yeah, it just cashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to thank you again, Billy.
My
for
pleasure.
talking
Thank you
to
very much.
And keep a look on bleedingcool.com for more coverage from Dragon Con this year.
Yes, do it today.
Oh.